Today, I want to talk about how I got my software engineering role right out of college, and hopefully my story could help you guys as well, whether you guys are CS majors or whether you guys are trying to break into the tech field as a software engineer. The first thing I want to talk about is a little bit of background of what inspired me to become a software engineer. Well, the simple truth is that I'm a tech guy and I really love everything tech. And within tech itself, I actually find that I love creating things within the computer, like apps, websites, and even like graphic design and modeling. So when I found websites like Google, Facebook, YouTube with a lot of like daily users on it, that intrigued me in terms of me thinking like, wow, maybe I can make an app that people could actually use, but like, how do I get there, right? So that's when I discovered computer science in terms of like coding and creating apps. Not only that, but I also enjoy problem solving and critical thinking because, I love puzzle games and I've done over 50 escape rooms in the LA area. So next comes school. And this is where it gets really interesting because after I graduated high school, I actually did not pick computer science as my major, surprisingly. I actually picked mechanical engineering because I fell in love with CAD, 3D modeling, drafting when I was in high school because I took that class. But then I soon realized that, okay, I just curved my interest for like mechanical engineering when I should have been a CS major all along. So 2 years into college, when I just took GE classes, I swapped my major into computer science. And I literally did not take any CS classes until my last 2 years of college, which kind of felt rushed to me. I kind of just took a lot of CS classes. I was actually able to learn a lot of the things on YouTube, which is very, very helpful in order to pass your classes. I was able to get a study group session going with like a couple of buddies in college, and we would actually just like meet up after class in the library. We would actually go out and grab food, get lunch together with this study group for a couple of the classes. And again, this is extremely useful because not only are they your study buddies, but they could actually be your long-term connection in terms of getting you into a company. On top of that as well, I practiced a lot of like lead code back in college. Being proactive in terms of trying to learn new things, like they taught a lot of Java classes, and I mean like a ton of Java classes because that's what the code base is basically on for the whole 4 years. But I actually took my time and learned some Python on the side, which I actually made a personal project on. And I also did a bit of C++, I did a bit of React, and I also came in with a good foundation of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as well. On top of that as well, I took a senior project and I did that 2 semesters with the same professor back to back just because I enjoyed working with him. And I do again recommend working with a professor like one-to-one, obviously, just because you know someone that could understand your work ethic, your coding skills, what you need to improve on, and just give you constructive criticism, especially coming from someone with like a PhD or a master's degree, right? So now comes the application process, right? Before applying, obviously I have to build a resume. With this resume that I had, I obviously put in my education, which is my computer science degree, personal projects, along with courses and coding languages that I thought I was pretty good at and proficient at, which is again, it is very crucial to build a good resume because when you apply for internships or jobs, that's literally the first thing they look at, right? Your background. So you got to make sure you have a good legible resume, and I believe that is a really, really solid tip to everybody out there who's definitely trying to get out there in the field. Try to reach out to friends, try to reach out to family members who are experts at like hiring or just experts at interviewing and just perfecting their resume, because it's again going to be super, super helpful for you. So the semester before I graduated came by and I just mass applied for internships. So when I mean mass applied, I mean like I was actively applying at least like 10 to 20 a day, like nonstop, just hit apply now. I was on LinkedIn, I was on ZipRecruiter, I was on Indeed, I was on, a lot of all these job posting websites and just applying for internships. And I could say I probably applied to like 70 to 100 internships until I finally got one back from a company called LifeRay. Now this LifeRay company reached out to me in my email and said, hey, I would be, more than happy to set up an interview with you, which I was like super excited about. Again, trying to get an internship back then was kind of hard, obviously. And I wasn't the best coder. Like I wasn't a code freak. I wasn't doing like hackathons and stuff. I was just casually just doing CS, not really a super try hard in my CS classes. I just want to put that out, right? So after a quick video interview with the recruiter, I got an online coding assessment, then I got a technical assessment, which as you know is like a couple lead code questions online with one of the software engineers at LifeRay. And then finally, I got a hiring manager interview, and then surprisingly, I actually got the internship position. So all this application process took one semester before my graduation, and now here's the position after graduation. Again, it is not too late. If you're watching this video now, stick around because this is not, the offer that I ended up taking. So time went on, and obviously I had this internship offer and I was super happy again. But again, I did not stop there, right? I mean, an internship is good enough for 3 months, but then now what? What comes after, right? If I could secure a full-time position rather than an internship, I mean, obviously I would want to take the full-time position if the time does ever collide or crash, right? So even with an internship offer, I just kept mass applying. Now I'm mass applying for full-time jobs. I'm not even looking for internships anymore because I already locked that down, right? So I started mass applying again. I put in my resume, which I don't even know if you're supposed to, that I had a future internship coming up. So I just had a software engineering internship and my resume when I wasn't even an intern yet. Don't know if you're allowed to do that, but anyways, put that in my resume. Started mass applying to, like, again, hundreds of companies, practiced some leak code, brushed up on my data structures and algorithms a little bit. And, you know, days went by, months went by. I wasn't like very hopeful for a job. And even if I didn't get a job, I thought it was fine because I already secured this internship and I was more than happy to work with this internship, knowing that it would probably secure more jobs later on after the internship, or maybe I could get a call back from the company. But to my surprise, one day when I was heading to the gym, I actually got an email from Northrop Grumman saying that, hey, we would love to set up an interview with you. And I was like super ecstatic, right? I was like, wow, like even getting an interview at that point was just kind of hard because I did not have any internship experience, right? And I would just be coming out of college because I still had a future internship coming up. And this was around March to April area. So it was about like 1 month before I graduated when I got the call back from Northrop Grumman. So Northrop Grumman called me and, you know, they did an interview over the phone and, you know, I didn't think much of it. It was a quick like 30-minute to an hour interview. Kind of just went back to like sleep, you know, whatever. And, you know, like I said, if I didn't get the job, I would not have been disappointed because I already have this internship locked down from LifeRay. A week passed by. Northrop Grumman called me back and they said that they're more than happy to offer me a software engineering role full-time at their company. And I was like jumping with joy, right? I was like, wow, I'm super excited because now I have an actual full-time job. And this would have taken place after the internship. So my Northrop Grumman start date would have been August and my LifeRay start date would have been like June to July, right? So everything would have actually worked out. But some relatives abroad internationally was going to visit me for my graduation. And it kind of just rolled over to the LifeRay time. And, you know, I would rather just see my family knowing that I have the full-time position locked in already. So at that point, I actually kind of let my internship position go, knowing that I've already secured a full-time software engineering career. So now here I am. I'm currently working for Northrop Grumman as a software engineer now, and it's been about 8 to 9 months now, and I'm, you know, currently enjoying it. No complaints so far. Now, the one thing that I could tell you guys is to keep on applying, right? I know you may have imposter syndrome. I know that for a fact because I wasn't the best coder, but at least I knew a little bit of the basics and a little bit of the foundation, which if you don't know, you should definitely go on YouTube and try to, you know, learn yourself. And you should be passionate about learning new things. Just because you're learning, you know, again, one language doesn't mean you have to stick with that language. You could always try to branch out, find things that you're passionate about, do projects that you're passionate about. You know, one of the projects that I did was a bot that could automatically check something out when something is in stock, you know, which is something that I needed during that time. And I just thought it was a cool personal project and it was easy to do it in Python. So I decided to learn Python. And again, most importantly, you need to apply. Like you need a mass apply. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to do this. You know, I'll just apply here and there. Like if you really want it, you gotta apply for it. And never feel like a role is like too good for you, right? Like if you feel like, oh, like I'm applying for a software engineer instead of an associate or a junior software engineer level. I mean, who cares? Just give it a shot, right? You know, it takes like 5 minutes to apply. If you get the hang of it, you just check a couple buttons, upload your resume whatsoever. I didn't have the best GPA. And being completely honest, I have a couple C's in my report card. But again, as long as you put yourself out there, learn the basic foundations, just don't give up hope on yourself. I believe that you'll be able to make it as well. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like and hit the subscribe button down below. And I'll see you guys all in the next video.